when people glorify the hood, they make it into something like, oh, good times. You gonna have some good times. But you ever notice those good times, you try to overlook the worst. And sometimes those times that you have in the hood that become the worst are some of the ones that stick with you the most. And this is coming from somebody that had my sister got shot. What's going on, man? I want to talk to all the young bulls. The reason I want to have this conversation is because you're seeing a lot of young people, like a lot of young cats, like crashing out. And it's kind of weird because I understand it. It'd be kind of weird if I say I don't get it, but I do get it. But at the same time, it doesn't make it right. And it's funny because I was just sitting back just thinking, I was thinking like this for the past couple weeks, how like when you come from the hood, like growing up in the city, you know what I mean, in the city, you tend to think everything is fun. And it's because a lot of times, like when you're growing up, you're going around cats that you know, people you went to school with, your mom is cool with this family, you got your cousins, your family, everybody around it seems as though everybody is cool, but realistically, it's not. The family is in turmoil. It's not really like togetherness, but we think it is. And the reason why it feels like that is because the people that you're around, you're so comfortable around, and you're in an environment that even though you see chaos, you don't quite look at it that way because you're so used to it when you grow up in it, you know. And that's crazy because even growing up, I look at some of the things I went through, and I used to think that certain stuff was normal until somebody lost their life in front of me. It was on a basketball court. Dude got, you know what I mean, he got taken out of here right in front of me, playing basketball. And that was my beginner phase of understanding life, and that your life can be taken so easily. Not to say I was, you know what I mean, I was dumbfounded. You know what I mean? You always hear the gunshots. You might see somebody get shot. But seeing somebody having life and then seeing their life be taken right in front of you, whereas though you just seen them run up and down court. I didn't even know this boy. I might have seen him maybe once in my life. I don't know. I don't know. But I remember his name. From that day on, I remembered his name. And that's crazy. I never met him. But I was there to see him. It's wild. And then it's crazy because a lot of people, a lot of dudes, females, guys, you know what I mean, going through the same thing. They growing up in chaos. And a lot of times when you grow up in chaos, you don't even understand it's a life outside of that. And the reason why I just want to have this talk, because a lot of people don't see that way out. And what's wild is I probably would have been that person that would have never seen a way out. I was bad as hell. Some of my anger issues, even today, still carries over from childhood. Like some things is hard to shake. So you have to sometimes just sit there sometimes before you respond to something. And you just look and be like, you know, I'm tripping. You could just talk to yourself. You know when you're about to lose it, especially if it's over no reason. And a lot of times when we grow up in the hood, we can lose it easy. I don't know why. Probably because you know that you can't be bullied. Anybody knows when people say turn, you know what I mean, keep it moving. Like when somebody bothering you, don't even waste their time. But sad part about it is when people bothering you, like when you coming up in the hood, you can't do that. I don't know why you can't. Because for some odd reason, how they paint movies, the big bully get beat up. That ain't how it is in the hood. The bully literally be the bully, but he be the same person that's beating up on everybody. And also is the one that's the boogeyman, the one that's actually catching bodies. It's weird. It's wild. It's like everything that you learn on TV is the opposite in the hood. Like those things don't translate well. You have to fight. You got to learn how to fight. You got to be able to stand up for yourself. And you can't be taking no disrespect like that. Depending, you know. And it's sad, man, because you see people in the hood get killed over the most senseless things, man. And it's wild because I remember my cousin, man, was tight, man, but it's weird because much as I had love for him, he was a klepto, man. He just always taking my shit. Like, it's like you have something missing, you know. And I get it now. As I got older, I get it. I get it now. I get it. He's not here no more, though. And it's wild because we're busted up, but I would never have him over my crib when I got older. I don't know why. I always played that in my head because he took some stuff of mine, and it was not that serious, but it is that serious. When you're growing up, your money is not, you don't have long money, so when you buy stuff, you expect your stuff to be there. Especially if nobody ran up in your crib. You expect to have your things. And it's wild because I remember not running into him. We had an event, a family event. And I don't remember what it was. But we was somewhere and everybody was sitting at the table. And me and him was just busting it up. And I'm sitting there like, damn, I ain't seen this dude in like a couple years. And, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Wayne. You know what I mean? And his name was Dwayne. And it was wild because he was thorough, man. But he didn't grow up the best. And you don't think like that when you growing up. Because I had my mom. My pop was there, but then my pop wasn't there no more. I ain't know what happened till later on in life. Man, my pop is tight as hell now. But this is the thing about like when you growing up in the hood. Everything is swept under the rug. You will see certain things, but you don't quite understand what's going on. I just knew that it was a lot of women in the family, and it was not many men around. And it's crazy because my aunts, well, 2 aunts that I did have, did not realize that her one husband was a dope boy, big time. And he ended up getting shot in the head. And I remember I didn't see him no more. And by me not seeing him no more, I ended up seeing him later. Like years later down the line. And I'm like, damn, look, I'm going to keep it real. I thought he was dead. And kind of found out what happened was, so whatever happened, something happened. But he got shot in the head. He lived, but he wasn't the same. And, you know, and it's wild because even not long ago, I went to a funeral. This person was like a father to me, literally like a father to me. I grew up with him. It was, you know what I mean, my mom's old dude, and I knew he was big time, but I never said nothing because there's nothing to say. I just knew he had everything hot, and I knew he was getting money because I never seen him, like he always had hot stuff, and then all of a sudden I didn't see him no more for a long time, and then all of a sudden he'd reappear. Then I wouldn't see him for a long time. Then he'd reappear. It's like, damn, it's crazy. And it's wild because as he got older, he still had the same mentality. But, you know, with old age, you still had that same mentality of, you know, the dope boy. But you can't go back to that. It's not the same no more. You can't do that. And, you know what I mean, he died not long ago. And I'm going to tell you something. It really hurt because I talked to him. So it wasn't like I didn't talk to him. But it just make you realize that when you're in the hood, man, you got to get out. I'm sorry. I am not a component of Stan because it's many. I'm going to come out with more stuff on this. A lot of stuff that I went through. A lot of dumb stuff I done did. Certain things I done that I sit back and I'm like, damn, yo. It just make you realize that when people glorify the hood, they make it into something like, oh, good times. You gonna have some good times. But you ever notice those good times, you try to overlook the worst. And sometimes those times that you have in the hood that become the worst are some of the ones that stick with you the most. And this is coming from somebody that had, my sister got shot. And I remember, I still never forget this. I'm not going to say everything, but I'm just saying when my sister got shot, I was enraged. It was not a good day at all. Not a good day. And this was I think this might have been the day that I realized I have a love and a hate relationship with the hood. Even from some of the things that happened to me and some of the things that I had to do. Made me realize how easy it is that you can be taken out of here off of some of your stupidity, talking about myself, or some of the things you have to do in order to protect yourself when things get stupid. Because there's one thing that I can definitely say that really bothers me, that I sit back now and I'm like, yo, you blessed. Not only blessed, man, you blessed and you also lucky at the same time, because I sit back now and I be like, yo, how was I a young boy surviving out in the wilderness? And at this time I had, 21, and I had an expensive whip, and my car was no different than a boy on another block that was getting money. And I'm a young boy, so I'm noticeable and I'm also known, but I try to stay out of the way. But at the same time, I had situations, close calls, and also times where I had to get myself out of a situation by doing something. And it made me realize how the hood is really set up for you to really crash out. Because this, let's be real. Some of you might listen to this and say, well, not really. You have your own mentality. You got your own mind. You can do whatever you want. It's true. But I'm going to tell you how. Growing up, I was good, but I did have anger issues and behavior issues and fighting a lot. So okay, I'm not going to say good. I'm going to just say that I wasn't doing a life of crime. I was just I was a little high-head. But I remember just growing up and realizing the things that I got into that actually could have got me killed. And I think about some of the situations that happened with some other people from when I was in high school. And I was like, damn. We live in an era, like when you're in the hood, for some odd reason, it feels like you're raising yourself, even when you got your parents or your parent. And I'm going to tell you why. One of the reasons why I think is because it's so much going on outside, and you outside a lot. You tend to gravitate to outside more than to home. That's probably why I was outside all the time. We riding bikes, but along with riding bikes, you out stealing shit. Like, you doing stuff you got. I don't know why it's like that, man. I don't know why it's like that. But it's chaotic. But then it's fun at the same time. Like, we be on the court. I remember one time, this is crazy. I think back now, I wouldn't do it now. But I realized when you're in the hood, and this is no bull crap, anybody knows that's from the hood that was outside all the time. For some odd reason, when you outside a lot, you tend to be very headstrong and very strong driven. So I don't want to say to violence, but I wasn't doing violence, but I did not welcome it. Like, you couldn't just say something to me and I'm running away or whatever. It's weird. Like, you have a sense of danger, like you understand danger, but you're not afraid of it. And I remember being out on the court. This is wild. Anybody knows, I don't know, you know what I mean? Certain areas is different. Everybody knows, you know what I mean? You know how Philly is, you know how different areas like Baltimore, every city has a certain way of how they operate. And this area, growing up, I commute back and forth. Like, my pop and my family is in Philly, and I got family up in Chester. And Chester is not far from Philly. So honestly, you can jog to South Philly, Southwest in about like 35 to 40 minutes on foot. Not in car. If you're in the car, you get there like 10, 15 minutes. But on foot. I'm just saying on foot. But I remember being a young boy and you know what I mean, I was, you know what I mean, I had a couple dollars at a time, but I wasn't, you know what I mean, doing nothing really, really crazy out here. And I remember I used to, not always, but every once in a while, I used to hit the basketball court. And now, mind you, this area in the city, people used to be on the court late night. And I was conditioned to that. But sometimes I used to go to court, nobody be on the court. It'd be 1 in the morning, 12, not 12, maybe like 1, 2 in the morning. No bullshit. And I'd be on the court. And I remember, it's weird. You're not scared. I don't know why, but don't get it twisted. You couldn't run up on me. The way the court was set up, if you run up on me, it's going to be lights out. And that was the thing. Think about the mindset. I'm on the court at 1 and 2 in the morning. Yo, I literally used to be on the court for maybe about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Getting it in. Wasn't just because I was in shape, but I still balled. But I wasn't part of no teams and nothing. Just used to ball. And, you know what I mean? Just enjoy. Like I was, you know, bored. You know, I ain't want to feel like being in the house right now. And go out and ball. And my car be parked. It was outside the gate. And this court, I forgot what street, 7th Street. And I remember the courts used to be in gate. And I remember this one night. Mind you, I'm always on alert, but don't get it twisted. You can easily still get somebody. Like, it's not like you invisible. But I remember being on the court one night. And this boy was walking down the block. Well, it was not a block. It was down the street. Because the way the court sat, it sat in the middle. So it was a street, but the court was enclosed. So mind you, if you're going to get to somebody, you have to come over the fence, which was neat and good. It was good. It was a good thing. But along with that, it was set up where as though if you couldn't protect yourself, you was asked out. Like, put it like this. If you was on that court and you didn't have nothing to protect yourself, you asked out. You out. It's going to be bad. And a lot of different stuff used to happen on that court. A lot. So this dude screamed to me. He was like, yo. And I was like, yo. I screamed back. It was just like, yo. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Depending on where you from, it's like I don't know why it's like that. It's like a communication thing. I guess he's trying to check and see who I am. Mind you, I don't know who he is. Yo, he actually had on his mind, on his brain, whatever he had, he was going to rob me. He felt that way because that's what he was actually going to do. This is where the story is funny. It's funny now. And it's crazy because I don't even know where he at now. So as he coming across the street, he was like something. And then he was like, yo, something. I can't even remember what he said. And I said something back. But I remember I didn't say nothing crazy. But I knew he was making his way over. Yo, he was about to be out of here. Either he was going to be out of here or we both would have been hurt going to the hospital. Yo, once he got into the gate, yo, I already had it, already made my mind up. I said, if he reaching for something and he get like a certain distance where I got a good clear view of him, like where I can, you know what I mean? I knew he was going to be out of here. And he had on his mind, I guess he was going to, whatever, I don't know. But I used to have a holster. And when I was balling, it used to set, like, I used to put it on my side, but then I stopped doing that because I noticed every time I go to shoot, my shirt would go up. And I was like, yo, it felt uncomfortable. It felt like if someone was to run up on me, it just wasn't easy. So I ended up getting another holster that used to be on the front of me. And not only it was on the front of me, it was on the front where as though I had like a shirt on. It was like a tank top. I remember this. Had a tank top. So it was easy access. I was able to get it and already had it ready. And mind you, as he started making way, I already had my mind. And then next thing you know, he's like, yo, hey, I look. I'm like, yo. Look, man. He called me by my nickname and, yo, it was the boy. No, it was crazy. It was the boy, Joey, Spanish boy. And we went to school together. And what was wild is, yo, Joy was wild. What's crazy is I don't even know where he at now. But yo, when I say he was wild, he was wild. Because I remember, I was supposed to mention somebody's name. I remember maybe a year before, I don't know if it was a year before or whatever. I remember I was up on one of my family members' crib. I ain't gonna throw no names out there. I'm gonna say we was on one of my cousin's houses. My cousin's house. We were sitting on his porch, and he came past. Mind you, you know, hey man, everybody be up late. I don't know what it is about the hood. Everybody out late. I ain't going to the house till 4, sometimes 6 in the morning, wilding out. Oh, you know what I mean? Anybody know, hit Palmer's, Transit, those were the clubs back then. But I remember he just he ended up robbing somebody. I don't know where at, and he was running. But when he was running, you could tell he did something he had no business doing. And he noticed we was up on the porch. He knew because he knew my cousin like that. Like, you know, he knew he'd normally be up on the porch, you know. And he stopped past. He was running up the block, but then he seen, like, yo. And then he's busting up. And then he was right there for maybe like 5 minutes. And then he's like, yo, all right, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. My cousin looked at me. I was like, damn. We know. Because whatever he had on him, he had something, he had a big gun on him, because you can tell whatever he had was powerful, because that joint was like sticking out from, you could tell, he ain't had no holster, no nothing, but whatever. And it just made me realize how conditioned the hood is for you to be ready, but at the same time, putting yourself in harm's way. Because think about it. I'm on a court at 1 and 2 in the morning. That ain't common sense. But guess what? When you grow up in it, you normally are not thinking like that. I don't know why. You're just not. You're not. You know. And I think a lot of us feel the same way. And that's probably why you see a lot of us get taken out of here. Because we are a circumstance to our own surroundings. And we so comfortable. Believe me, a lot of us have been so comfortable. So when something happens, you sitting back and you like, damn. Especially if you make it to a certain age and you're able to reminisce. I don't want to say just reminisce. I'm going to just say you're able to reflect back to situations and make you just sit back and shake your head and say, damn, I remember that. So I'm going to just say this. For any of y'all that's up there battling with moving forward and getting into a better situation, getting yourself up out of the hood, do it. It's nothing wrong to come back, go see your family and whatnot. But I'm going to tell you, it is more to life outside of chaos. All right?